Welcome and thank you for tuning in. You're listening to the Beyond 50 radio program. I'm Daniel Davis. As many of us approach midlife, we find that we have many disappointments as we try to reach the path of enlightenment. Perhaps there are particular goals or endeavors that we wanted to achieve, but many distractions kept us from getting there. Frustration, aggravation, and the like seem to come in, and before you know it, we find ourselves in a constant loop of suffering of which we feel there is no end. Here on the Beyond 50 radio program today, we love bringing along experts and people who might be able to help lead the way or at least help us out of our own suffering by finding ways that we can do this. The book is The Path to Awakening, and joining us here on the Beyond 50 radio program today is Shamar Rinpoche, who is known as the 14th Shamarpa. He was born in 1952 in Tibet. Shamar Rinpoche was recognized by the 16th Gyalwa Karmapa in 1957 by the 14th Dalai Lama. He's joining us here on the Beyond 50 radio program today to talk about his book, The Path to Awakening. And I'd like to welcome Shamar Rinpoche to the Beyond 50 radio program. Rinpoche, how are you today?
Thank you.
Now, first I want to clarify for the audience, what is Rinpoche? What does that mean?
You asking me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Rinpoche in Tibetan language, Rinpoche means precious. So this has been used for a spiritual leader, and many times also use this for king, minister, high level minister, and also for the judge. They use the name Rinpoche. Means they are the leader, they are the compassionate leader, like that. Though,
Okay.
Not all the time necessarily they are compassionate, but I mean the judge, I mean the minister or kings, but they get this title also, and as well as spiritual leaders, Rinpoche.
Now, as you start your book, The Path to Awakening, you give wonderful historical detail of how this all came about, how Buddha had realized that Buddhism was actually beginning to fade out in India, and that it was important for people to keep it alive by really going at its practice. Tell us what Buddhism is and what it brings to people.
You mean what Buddha brings to human nowadays? You mean?
Yes.
Well, not only nowadays, Buddha taught very precious teaching for humans in the past and present, also for the future. All his teaching is fit for every civilization. There's not any contradictions for any tradition or any the human nature. Whatever difference is there, but the teaching of Buddha is fit for everything. This is the this should be, everything should be like Buddha's advice. Then the world will have ultimate peace.
Now, in your book,
basically, whatever Buddha teaches is very correct, scientifically correct. And no one can criticize what Buddha teach is not applicable for any field of politics, social environment, as well as religion. And yes, did you? Is it clear to you?
It is. The reason is, I thought to get started on this, one of the things that we tend to hear a lot of this day and age is incarnation. And the idea that as we go from one life to the next, that we have to take the deeds of the past life and kind of clean up its karma so that we can enjoy this one. But that isn't so necessarily true, is it?
Reincarnation system is only started in Tibet, not by Buddha.
Mm-hmm.
That the spiritual leaders, they reincarnate. that system was established in Tibet and started by Black Hat Lama of Tibet. The Karmapa, he started. And the first Karmapa started that. And then second Karmapa, third Karmapa, all came one after other as a very remarkable person. And then people started believing reincarnation because second Karmapa was the one of the fantastic Lama, who went to India, who went to China, China, and then he did not respect to emperor as a special person. Then emperor put him into the trial, and then he performed the miracle powers. The Goden Khan, during the son of the Kublai Khan, Goden Khan put him into the trial, and they were not able to defeat him. He performed the miracle powers. At that time, the Italian man whose name is Marco Polo, he was there too, and he also mentioned that he heard there is a Lama who performed the miracle powers and defeat the court of China. He personally did not meet him, but he was there. He also mentioned in his life story. So like that, second Karmapa and third Karmapa, fourth Karmapa, they were very, very highly qualified spiritual Buddhist teacher. And then people started believing reincarnations. Reincarnation actually started by the first Karmapa, Dusum Champa, and then second Karmapa, the one who I mentioned, and then third Karmapa, fourth Karmapa. People started believing reincarnation because they were so special. And then since then so many, it became contagious.
Mm-hmm.
It became contagious.
Now, what's interesting to note is that the path to awakening is a way to still the mind. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me, I want to complete my answer to you.
Oh, my apologies.
The Buddha, of course, Buddha taught all living beings reincarnate by their karma. By their karma. So, if one who did good meditation in the past life, and then his next life will be again same meditator, and he will improve much more. In that way, within 7 lifetimes, even slower mover, meditators will be enlightened. That's what Buddha taught in many sutras. And if one is very, very intelligent and very, very dedicated for meditation, then one can be enlightened within a life. But at most, within 7 lifetimes, then you will be enlightened. And that is for the meditators, good meditators. But generally, Buddha said all living beings reincarnate again and again as a good and bad by their own karma. Is it clear to you?
Very clear. I just wanted to be sure that I was allowing you to finish with your answer.
Okay.
My lack of mindfulness had me jumping in the middle.
Yes. And mindfulness meditation is the first meditation that you will learn and you do practice before you do meditations for the enlightenment. Mm-hmm. And mindfulness meditation is the one that you can control your confused mind or agitated mind. Mm-hmm. You can pacify your mind and build up the concentration power that your mind will be so flexible that if you want to keep in peace of the mind, you can keep while you still be completely clear in awareness. That's the mindfulness meditation. And there are many methods, but in 7 points mind training, the powerful methods has been aggregated. And then the first part of the 7 points mind training is mainly for mindfulness. Is mainly to develop the peace of mind.
And then the first step, is that a way of looking into your own thoughts as they arise?
Yes. Sorry, I didn't. Thought, yes. To concentrate on the thought. To catch your. I will say, first you keep the mindfulness meditation according to the methods, and then you will able to recognize when thoughts arise, which will driving away your mind from the meditation, from the concentration. Mm-hmm. And then you will implement the methods to control the thoughts by not suppressing the thoughts and by not following the thoughts, but you should be fully aware, and then you maintain the awareness. And then even though the thoughts are arising, it will not disturb your mind. You can still maintain the peace of mind. So these are the techniques how to pacify your mind.
Mm-hmm. Now also, in the first step, it's also important for right posture and breathing.
Yes. Posture. Posture is very good to support your mind to be clear, to be very clear, as well as not confused, not agitated. These postures are kind of also aggregated yoga. Yoga is usually clean your mind and develop the strength of the mind. Yoga will help for that, because as long as mind is in a physical form, mind is very much depends on the energy which circulates through the nerves. Therefore, if the nerves are in good balance, then it will be much easier for you to keep your mind totally free from the confusions, as well as you can maintain the clearness.
We live in America in what seems to be a distracted or distraction-driven culture. And yes, as a result, we have tremendous pharmaceuticals to help us calm down, ease tension, ease anxiety, ease depression. And based on what you're saying, Rinpoche, is this: if we can see that our thoughts have energy, and that we can learn to, as you said, be mindful, observe, and to calm, basically eliminate those thoughts, there would be no need for these outside things to soothe us, correct?
Yeah. Medicines and drugs are not at all good, because for the time being maybe it will keep some tranquility, but then later you will be totally depends on it. So this is artificial tranquility, and then it will develop the addiction of the drug. So no, it will not help at all. Yes.
Now, I love your remedies in here for things. Let's go ahead and cover a couple of these. One of the things that are very prevalent, especially in America, is desire. We desire to have a life that's better than the one we have. We desire to be that other person over there to have that thing we don't have, what is the remedy for desire, to calm that thought down?
Remedy, calm abide. Well, desire is something, let's see. Desire is, maybe, many desires are there. Desire is one of the most difficult to eliminate. Even they say highly qualified meditators still can have a desire in the post-meditation. Desire does not carry so much negative things. If you even can use desire for the good reasons, but desire will definitely disturb meditation. So when you have strong desire, this will not let your meditation to be successful. Therefore, the masters invented, after you become good on the concentration, then you will concentrate on skeleton form. By concentrate on imagination of the skeleton form, and that will reduce the mainly physical desirement.
Ah.
Yes.
After all, an attractive woman, or man for that matter, if you just think of their skeleton, well, hey. Not so attractive after that.
Yes, it's quite powerful. Recently, a French lady, she did it, and the result was very good, she said.
That helped a lot.
She was not in peace. Her mind is not in peace, but after she forcefully did it, and then it helped her and solved her problem. She said that. She told me.
Now, how about this? Going around, especially in the world today, a remedy for anger.
A remedy for anger is very important because anger carries a lot of negative. Though anger is easy to control, but if you let just anger go, then it will grow. But easier to control because as quick as you notice the anger already mild.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you apply the methods such as like, why? Where is this anger? What is this? That kind of methods. If you look at the anger, nature of the anger, then anger is gone, dissolved. So anger is easier to control, but it is more negative.
Mm-hmm. Because anger carries a tremendous amount of energy, especially to the person who is angry, that can cause a lot of internal destruction.
Yes, then if you have no habit of handling anger, if you have no knowledge how to control anger, if you are lacking of good thinking or there's no the anger will not bring any benefit to neither oneself nor the others. Mm. If you have a lot of the support of the knowledge, then this will encourage you to implement the methods to control anger whenever anger arises, that you will be cautious and control anger. Mm-hmm. And if you have no knowledge, if you are not well advised, then people just let anger go, and then anger overwhelms them, and then a lot of disasters happening. People create a lot of disasters because of the anger. They don't know how to control it. They don't know how bad it is.
Mm-hmm. Anger also causes people to become very reactive in the moment, which can cause disaster as well.
Yes. Yes. You mean the anger is, how bad anger is? What do you mean?
Okay, here would be an example for our American listeners. You're at work. You're doing your job. You're probably in a bad mood because it's Monday morning. Okay, the Monday morning blues, as they like to call it, comes along, tells you this is something that needs to be done. You're already in a bad mood, so you're angry for the most part.
Right. Yeah.
Boss, by telling them to take a flying leap. Okay, now you've just lost your job.
Yes. Yeah, stressful. That is stress. That anger, yes, for somebody, stressful also can raise up anger. For somebody, not anger, just irritation. Anger and irritation is different, and also anger and hate is different. Hate is the worst. Anger, quick anger. Okay, you may be like children irritate parents, children misbehave, parents angry. It's short angry. That is not really something that bothers you so much. Like you say, Monday morning, people are stressful. And then if somebody block your way while you are driving, you may miss the office time and you may get some irritation, anger. But as long as you have the knowledge of the meditation, how to control the anger, even that stress, you will be able to handle it easily. And it will not bother you so much.
It's like when you're on your way to work, you're driving, you realize you're late. Seems like you hit every red light on the way there. But you have to realize that perhaps, maybe the universe is saying, today you need to slow down. So rather than being stressed and angry about the fact that you're late, maybe you're arriving precisely on the time you're supposed to. Could be another way to look at it, right?
Yes. But as long as you could catch the anger, then you are already in the process of controlling anger, and anger will not bother you. You can control anger. So meditation is very good for that. Immediately you will catch your anger, and then you will control it. After you become good on meditation, then anger always will be under control, no problem for you. And controlling anger is a wonderful, wonderful quality. So much benefit is there. The anger is not useful for anything.
Rinpoche, do you ever get angry?
Or sometimes, as you said, Monday morning, that anger I have.
It's Monday morning meditation. I'm angry.
I'm telling you, anger is there, but anger is not really difficult for me to control. I also I will say, I'm quite well trained by myself nowadays, more than the kids' time. Well, I tell you, Tibetan system, in the West, you think the news went out like Tibet is like paradise, and the people are like people are all bodhisattvas, which is not true. Like traditional laws, traditional the in charge of the monasteries, like a disciplinary leader, and also the teachers, they beat lot, They beat so badly. Like me, when I was 11 years old, I went under a traditional teacher. He is beating students every day. And that made me, in my mind, is a little bit, children's mind is a little bit, nervous breakdown, And when I come to age of 21, little things can bother me very much, but then later I practice meditation, and that problem is solved. And I was a kid who always liked to running and playing around, but teachers beating us very badly, not only me. Like this head of Nyingma who passed away. He is a heart patient, and he told to my uncle. I was there together, and he became the heart patient because teacher beated him so much. The very famous Rinpoche Lama called Miling Chichen Rinpoche. He passed away some years back, and he used to tell like that. Tibetan teachers are very, very negative. Then they beat people very badly. Not the spiritual masters, but the teacher for the class.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also one who suffered so much under the teacher's training, and therefore my mind was really, the little things can bother me very much when I come to age of 18, 19, and then meditation helped, totally.
Mm-hmm. I think what's really fascinating when you share that aspect of your life, Shamar Rinpoche, is that I think sometimes people have a view of Tibetan lamas as though it was this peaceful, blissful life, and then you describe how you have this teacher who was beating you and other students just for being who you were.
I'm also writing this in my story. Yes, life story. Mm-hmm. And the Tibetan teachers very, very negative. It's kind of tradition happened, bad tradition,
Mm-hmm. And I suppose why that's important, especially for this program, is to bring up for the listeners this, that many of us have had an experience in a classroom, growing up, where we may not have been physically beaten, although I took a paddling once or twice in the principal's office myself, so I know that doesn't feel very good, but a teacher who criticizes you, tells you you're not worthy, you'll never amount to anything. We take those thoughts...
Tibetan teachers with the students as a mid-age whipping,
Right.
They do that.
Right. And I guess...
They're very bad. They're very bad for that,
mm-hmm.
Yes.
And what I was trying to point out here, Rinpoche, was this. You said that by the time you were in your late teens, that little things... Yes. Possibly as a result of this teacher beating you guys, were bothering you. And so what I'm getting at here is, for all of us who have had those school experiences, these authorities, these teachers that are supposed to know more than we are, that we're supposed to learn from, we carry that, I guess, cause, and it affects our lives later, even though that cause happened years ago. Meditation is a way to say, hey, that's a ghost now. You're here now. Be here now and move forward without that anymore. Right?
Uh-huh. I didn't understand so well. Can you repeat it?
Okay.
I didn't understand. Sorry.
That's okay. As you were taking these beatings from your teacher, I was saying...
Yeah, beating, yes.
Right, okay. Now what I was saying is that carried forward, and when you were 18, little things bothered you. They set you off.
I was beaten by teacher when up to from 8 years old up to 10, 11 years old. Then teacher
right.
beating us very badly. And when the kids became little, when the kids grown up, then the teachers not daring to beat the students.
Right. But the point...
So they take advantage of the kids is very weak, physically very weak, and then it's kind of, they have a sadist attitude.
Mm-hmm.
is traditionally developed. The Tibetan teachers in the class, they have very sadist nature. I don't know why. I don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as a Buddhist, you should not have that mind. But they say it's how much you beat, the better for the students.
Ah.
Yeah, they say that.
Hmm. And what are your thoughts on that?
No, definitely not.
I wouldn't think so either.
Yeah, definitely.
But I guess Rinpoche...
Superstitious and bad superstitious.
Right. What I'm getting at from that experience is this. People will take those beatings, even though they're no longer occurring physically, as if they're still being beat throughout the rest of their lives. And meditation is a way to say, that hasn't happened, it's not happening now, move forward and have compassion from that experience.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Now you have a remedy for pride. Boy, there's a big one. That's a sin, actually.
Pride.
Tell us how we go
Pride.
about with
You
the
mean
remedy
pride?
for pride. Yes. Where am I?
Yeah. Pride is, once you learn the compassion and the ethically also, the advice in Buddhist ethic is very, very convincing, and they teach a lot that ego should be controlled. First, the ego is the target to subdue. Otherwise, you will never be successful in meditation. So, they teach a lot about faults of ego. Therefore, from that influence, ego is easy to control for Buddhist people, and therefore the Buddhist teaching about ego, how to subdue the ego, will be very useful. Ego is not that difficult to control.
Well, it might be for Kim Kardashian.
Concept about ego in the West and in the East is for the Buddhists is a little different. Here, ego in the willpower is like same. For the Buddhist teaching, ego in willpower is not same.
Mm-hmm. Fascinating. Now, how about the remedy?
Yeah. Ego in willpower is different.
Okay.
Did you get my point?
I do.
Yeah. In Buddhist concept, ego means negative, like you think you are the best and then look down on others. And then you will not accept any advice or criticisms. Even though you are wrong, you will not like to accept it. And that's the ego. And you look down on others. That is ego. But willpower, that I want to be the successful in this work, and you are trying to be very successful, that is not ego.
Mm-hmm.
According to Buddhist subject, it is not ego. Celebrities, I don't think they have nothing to be proud, because they are suffering so much and they jump out of the window and to die because they could not tolerate the sufferings what they have. So I don't think like movie actors or any celebrities, they don't have any peace, and their life is like almost like what do you call, slave. Mm-hmm. People using them, and I don't think they are proud.
Now you outline also the remedy for ignorance, the links of interdependence.
Yes, ignorant is very deep, yeah? Ignorant. According to Buddhists, then once every living being, they have the Buddha nature, means they have the nature in the mind to be enlightened. But you don't realize it, you don't see it. So it takes a long time to see, to realize it, because you are totally overwhelmed by your confusions, by your illusions. And that's the ignorant. So also the concept about ignorant in the Western society and Buddhist society is different.
Describe enlightenment for our listeners.
Yes? I did enlightenment, you mean what?
Oh, describe...
You want to know what is enlightenment?
Or describe enlightenment.
Oh, enlightenment is when your mind is fully liberated from your ignorance, your confusions, and you are on the state of mind that there is no potential to regrow the confusion, the ignorant. All the ignorance, confusion are eliminated, as well as there is no chance, no potential to regrow the ignorance or confusions. That is enlightenment. You will, through the meditation, you can achieve that state of mind. You can develop your mind into that orientation. So enlightenment means totally wake up from the illusion, from deluded mind, which is, of course, non-describable through the human language, because no one experienced it. So you did not invent any term to specifically pointing that, because no one experienced it. What can you say? How can you describe? So we have to use some metaphor and some deductions to figure out there is an enlightenment by knowing the problems,
This is such a fascinating way for people to be on a path of awakening, but as it's said in the book, if you go to meditation with the thought of an outcome, you won't be successful. That isn't its goal. Its goal is just to simply be meditating.
Yes. Yeah, because meditation is the way how you train your mind. And if you don't train your mind is naturally wired like a wild horse. And so if you don't train, then you will maintain your confusion, the wildness of the mind will continue as it has been and as it is now. So then meditation is the method to train it. Therefore, without meditation, yes, you will not be enlightened.
Now, do you do lecture in the United States?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Yes. Where will you be in the month or months ahead?
I usually live in Virginia, and I created a Buddhist center there in Virginia. It's called a beautiful area called Nature Breach. Nature Breach is the name of the city there. And there's another town, beautiful town called Lexington, where you have Washington and Lee University. So my Buddhist center is nearby, and I teach there. And then I go different places such as like Massachusetts, Chicago, and also California. So far, these are the main places where I go and teach.
And your website is shamarpa.org?
Yes. And website is www.bodhipath.org.
Okay.
Bodhipath.org is the website of the center, Buddhist Center.
Oh. Shamar Rinpoche, thank you so much for joining us here on the Beyond 50 radio program. Is there a parting thought or meditation you would like to share with our audience?
Yes. Thank you very much. This is my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you again. We want to thank you, the listeners
You're
out.
welcome. Yes.
The book is The Path to Awakening. Our guest today, Shamar Rinpoche. You can find out more by also visiting us at beyond50radio.com. That is the number 50. We want to thank you for joining in here on the program today. I'm Daniel Davis, and remember, live your day past halfway.